In February of 2014, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos by a score of 43-8. To get into the Super Bowl, you have to be one of the best teams in the league. But to win, that takes the best team in the NFL. The Seahawks beating the Broncos by a score of 43-8 is miraculous, especially when you consider that the Broncos had a legendary quarterback like Peyton Manning. So what happened to the Seahawks after that Super Bowl that has now put them into the position of being a mediocre team? Let's look at some reasons why the Seahawks aren't the same team that they were just 4 years ago. After the Seahawks lost to New England in one of the greatest Super Bowls ever played, they had to make sure that their players didn't leave them for nothing. As a result, they gave big contracts to Russell Wilson, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, and others. What made the Seahawks great was their edge and attitude, but these once doubted players lost the need to prove their talent to the world once they secured those contracts. Injuries also kicked in and riddled players like Sherman and Earl Thomas. Both Sherman and Thomas haven't had much of an impact on the team this season because Sherman ditched Seattle for their rival to the south in San Francisco on a 3-year deal, and Thomas suffered a devastating leg injury after attempting to sit out for a contract extension. The offensive line was what really held Seattle back in the past, and it helped to slow down Marshawn Lynch as he aged. Now Seattle has a solid O-line, but they no longer have a dynamic running back to divert pressure off of Russell Wilson. Wilson's protection has improved of late, but unfortunately the running back situation has caused him to be given more responsibility to pass the ball. By the beginning of 2015, Russell Wilson looked like a future NFL legend. In just 3 years, he had led his team to 2 Super Bowl appearances, including a win over the Broncos. In the season where the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl, which was 2014, Marshawn Lynch ran for over 17 total touchdowns and had 1,306 rushing yards. In the same season, Wilson threw for just 20 touchdowns and had 6 rushing touchdowns with 3,475 passing yards. By last season, the run game fell off cliff, putting more pressure on Wilson and his passing. Last season, only one Seahawk running back ran for a touchdown, and the team as a whole ran for only 1,629 yards. Wilson, the quarterback, was easily the team's leading rusher, but he ran for only 586 yards that season. His passing numbers went up because he didn't have a run game he could rely on, as Wilson threw for 34 passing touchdowns and 3,983 yards. Wilson was never a great passer, but he was a great quarterback. However, without a run game to keep the defense on their toes, the offense started to falter. The defense has also fallen off due to injuries and the disassembling of the Legion of Boom. Back in 2014, the Seahawks had the best defense in the league in both yards allowed and points allowed. This season so far, they're still a respectable 12th in yards allowed and 9th in points allowed, but obviously there is a huge difference between this year's defense and the more experienced, tougher Legion of Boom that dominated 4 years ago. In fact, only one member of the 2014 defense remains as a starter, not including the injured Earl Thomas, and that was Bobby Wagner. The players who made the 2014 defense elite are all gone. Guys like Michael Bennett, Bruce Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Cam Chancellor all have left for other teams. Earl Thomas remains, albeit on injured reserve, and everyone else is either a shell of their former self elsewhere or now retired. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to contact us or have anything you would like to say to us, you can leave a comment down below or email us at thegamedaynetwork@gmail.com. Also be sure to check out our new website, gamedaynetwork.wewe.com, that has some of our articles, contact information, and other interesting content.